Hello guys, it's Ryan Ho back with another video. Today I want to talk about the Finalmouse Ultralight X. This is a really great mouse. This is probably one of the lightest mouses you can get. I mean, it does have a little bit of bendiness because they try to cut as much weight as possible on this, but honestly, this is the batch 2 version of this that they've made a lot of improvements to it. And honestly, this mouse is really amazing. I didn't even think I would like it as much as I do. So let's talk about it. So on the scale, this thing weighs 39 grams, which is honestly insane. Like, this is literally the lightest mouse I've ever used. My first mouse was over 100 grams. And then my second mouse, which was the Logitech one, Logitech G Pro Wireless, this was about 80 grams. And then moving on to, I guess I didn't really use the Razer as much, but the Razer Viper Ultimate was like a little lighter at like 76, 75. And then recently I upgraded to the Razer Death Adder V3 Pro, and this one came in at about 63 grams, but this one really a lot lighter. It's actually really noticeable, and I feel like it just makes this mouse balance really well in your hand. Whether I'm just like holding it or, you know, I'm moving it around, it really doesn't like have any sag, which is pretty amazing, honestly, for this mouse. When using this mouse, it just feels kind of effortless. Like, I really feel like it just kind of glides really well across my mouse pad. I feel like even my slower mouse pads just feel faster because there's like almost no weight and like less friction on it. And the feet that it comes with is also what they call virgin PTFE, so it glides really smoothly as well. So I feel like that whole entire kind of mouse is really kind of geared for performance. However, there's some, you know, downsides of having like holes in your mouse. Obviously, if you get water in it or like dust will probably accumulate inside. They already had issues with the bottom getting kind of gross because of the sticker, so they kind of swapped that out. So this mouse definitely has some compromises for going for super lightweight, but I feel like, you know, if you're looking for the ultimate performance, I think you'll forgo some of these necessities, right? For example, this mouse is obviously heavier, but it has a full plastic surrounding, so this really protects the mouse and the internals a lot better, versus this one will not. But I think a lot of people don't really care about that. They just want the lightest mouse possible, and this definitely gives that. Now, this actually is capable of 4,000 polling rate, but it's supposedly do 8,000, but that's not really released yet. So it's kind of like, you know, they promised it, but it's not here, versus the Razer. If you got this one right now, it's capable of 8,000 already out of the box. So that's really good. Well, you kind of buy the dongle with it, but that is, you know, an actual feature it has right now, while this one only has 4,000. In practical use cases, I think a lot of people aren't really going to tell the difference. I think at 4 to 8, it's pretty much insanely fast already, but it's just something worth noting. The other difference is this mouse actually has mechanical switches. Now, for mechanical switches, you know, for me, I think the mechanical switch isn't as great as an optical, but in the sense of like performance, of like longevity of your mouse, you'll get double clicks. This actually happened to me because I actually use a Logitech G Pro Wireless. I used this mouse for over 4 years, and it finally developed double clicking. So the only way to fix it is you had to open up the whole entire mouse and replace the kind of switches, which is, you know, a process. Obviously, was going to upgrade anyway, so I decided not to do that, but my friend has done that, so people can do that if they want. So this one may happen in the future if you have it for long enough, versus something like this one, which is the Razer Death Adder, has optical switches, so you're not ever going to have that double counting issue instead, and it's more likely that your switch is going to fail before that happens, right? So that is something that, you know, I do like more about the Razer. But to be honest with you, the kind of click feeling, I do miss the mechanical click switches. They're just this nice, fast, light type of switch, and I really do enjoy that click. And so it brings me back to my Logitech days, and I really do like how, you know, the switches feel. All right, so we're gonna unbox the Finalmouse Ultralight X, right? So this is kind of the box, aim for greatness. And yeah, let's get inside and see what it looks like. That was the most graceful thing I've ever done. It's already popped out. Wow. You can see all the way through it. Damn, it looks kind of nice. It's got the blue color. See the bottom. Yeah. Puck on the bottom. Right here. With the USB-C cable. So under the box, we have the kind of grip tape if you need it. We also have this USB-C to USB type A. Now this is, like I said, the batch 2, so I don't really have any flexing issues when I'm pushing on it. So really in practical use cases, you're not gonna have any issues with this one. And of course you can literally see through the mouse, which is insane. Like your mouse is really just this board on the bottom and that's it. It's kind of funny when you can actually see what it's actually made of. It feels like, you know, you're paying $190 for just this really lightweight piece of stuff, which does sometimes feel kind of like, wow, that does seem like you're not getting much. But at the same time, you're getting kind of, let's say, an engineering feat in some ways because of just how lightweight and how well built this is. So I do kind of like that. Now, this mouse has the PTFE feet, so they're really fast. So I find that the combination of this being lightweight and these feet, like they just glide across every single mouse pad I have. Even my more kind of slower, more controlled mouse pads feel like fast mouse pads when I put it on this one. So it's pretty insane what a lightweight mouse can do to a mouse pad and just make it move even faster than you've ever seen it. The clicks of these are mechanical, so I really do like that. They're just really quick, easy, and nice. And they always sound good too. That's what I like about mechanical, but obviously the double clicking stuff could be an issue in the future, but in the current kind of form, it's fine. The scroll wheel is nice and fast. I don't really have any issues with it. I really like the scroll wheel. So for me, it's good. The side buttons are the thing that, like the clicks are fine, they're good, but I just don't like how they stick out so much. Like if you look at this mouse, you can see how far this kind of sticks out in between this groove and the button. Like every single other mouse I've ever used in my life is like much flatter. Like here is the Razer one. The Razer one doesn't nearly stick out as much. It's maybe bigger in some ways, but it's more flush to the mouse. Even the Razer right here is even more flush to the mouse. Versus this one, just like it protrudes so much out that like it just kind of fights with my hand a little bit right here, which I don't know. It's definitely usable, but it's definitely my least favorite part about this mouse. Now, looking at this mouse in the accessories it has, right? So it comes with this puck, which is kind of the wireless dongle that we have. And then it comes with this cable. It's a charging cable. It's a little stiff, but like, honestly, you're not really going to be using it except for charging or putting in the puck. Now, you can actually plug this mouse into USB-C. In doing so, it actually turns on the light inside of the mouse, and it actually has RGB, which is kind of hilarious. So if you know, this is a gaming mouse and it actually technically has RGB, but it's really just there to show kind of the charging level of your mice. But here is the kind of like the click test. Left, right, scroll wheel, scroll clicks, the left button, front, back. Honestly, all the kind of clicks are very tactile, very nice. I don't have any complaints about any of it. This whole mouse feels honestly amazing. So when it comes to the shape of this mouse, this is probably the first mouse that I can fully like palm, and my hand actually gets to like very front of the mouse, because this mouse is just, not only is it low profile, but it also is a lot shorter than my other mice, allowing my hand to really fully grasp and kind of control the mouse. I feel like this is something that I didn't think would happen, and I thought the mouse would feel too small and uncomfortable. But in fact, I actually like how much my hand can just kind of hold on to it. And because of this and it's really light, it just gives me this full control over a mouse that I've never had before. And I feel like it really allows me to kind of move my hand, stop, start without much effort at all. And I always feel like the mouse is never going to slip out of my hand. So I don't really have any issue with like the coating or how grippy it is. I feel like the coating is honestly really good. This is probably the closest mouse to the Razer Viper Ultimate. And this one is a mouse that I think is a little bit too long for me, because like when I hold on to it, the front of my hands don't really get as far as I would like, and the buttons are a little bit more forward than I would like for my optimal holding, in my personal opinion. If I wanted to move it forward, I feel like the kind of middle of the mouse is, you know, a little bit closer to the front of my hand. So, you know, I can't really fully palm this one. Even the kind of Razer Death Adder V3 Pro, this one is like honestly a really tall and chunky mouse. Like it's not even comparison about how much bigger this mouse is. But, you know, this mouse is definitely kind of a little too big for me for sure too. Like I can't really get as far up as I would want. But my fingers on side buttons are actually not that bad on this mouse. But this mouse is definitely just slightly too big for me in my opinion. So I wish this was a little smaller. And I feel like this kind of achieves that goal for me of just being that mouse I can actually palm. And this is actually the medium version of the Ultralight. And then in comparison to my, one of my favorite mouses of all time, obviously is Logitech G Pro Wireless. This mouse has a bigger hump, a bigger shape. And because of that, I don't think I could palm it as well either. I'm holding it, my hand doesn't get as far up as I would like. But I mean, overall, it's still pretty good, honestly. But I do wish I can get it just, further up a little bit. It just feels more comfortable to me if it would be like all the way up there. And so, like I said, I think the length of this mouse is really, really nice. Now, I tried this with a variety of different mouse pads, but so this is the Ninjitsu NPC. This is kind of the pour-on base type of mouse pad that a lot of people really like. And then it has a more of a controller type of surface, so it's not as fast. But honestly, on this mouse, it just feels really fast. Like it just glides over it, because I honestly thought this mouse pad was too slow for me when I was using it on the Razer. But on the Finalmouse, it's like perfect for me, honestly. It's really nice. And because I haven't used this mouse pad that much before this, it's pretty much brand new. A very clean and fast setup. And then on my, Lamzu Energon, this is probably my favorite mouse pad. On this thing just feels insanely fast. I think it might be almost too fast for me right now, and I actually have to adapt to how much faster it feels for me. But with the Razer Death Adder V3 Pro, it was honestly perfect. So, I mean, honestly, between these two mouse pads, I guess I would probably pair this mouse with this mouse pad and this mouse with this mouse pad. But I mean, I don't think you can really go wrong with either. It's just, this one enhances the speed for sure. When it actually comes to like performance in game, so I like playing a lot of Valorant, right? So I have a 360 hertz monitor. I have like the whole like RTX 4090. So I'm pretty much pushing 360 frames over 360 up to like 400 and 500 all the time. So then that combined with, using this at 4,000 polling rate, I could definitely feel the difference and see the difference. It's actually interesting because like, the older mouse like this Razer Viper Ultimate, this thing actually has some type of like latency. Like when you move the mouse, you can see it like kind of lag behind, versus this one is noticeably faster as well as the Razer. I'd say when, the performance of these two and how fast and responsive they are is the same for me, honestly. So this is definitely a top performing type of like sensor. You can definitely see how snappy and how fast it feels. And I do really actually think 4,000 hertz makes a difference compared to 1,000 hertz. I've seen it. If you're snapping your shots a lot, if you're moving really fast, back and forth, like you can actually see the difference. Your cursor reacts a lot faster, and it makes those kind of quick movements a lot easier to do. So definitely having a higher polling rate definitely helps. And the battery life drain on it is not as bad as I thought it would be. Honestly, the battery lasts a little longer than I would think 4,000 polling rate to last. So I think that's great. Well, I guess I should say that for the 8,000 on the Razer, it actually lasts quite a while when I use it, which is honestly to my surprise as well. So here we have the Finalmouse software. So you can kind of see that you can kind of choose a bunch of the options, the DPI, polling rate. You also have like motion sync and your kind of lift off distance. So it's really easy, and it's actually a web-based software, so you don't have to download anything on your computer. But yeah, it's kind of cool that you can kind of change everything and choose your firmware updates, as well as it shows you kind of your signal strength. It's pretty easy, and you don't have to download software on your computer, giving it a great advantage. But yeah, I noticed like when I was using this mouse and adapting to it, like at first I would say the sensor positioning was a little bit different from what I was used to on the Razer. So when I was kind of doing kind of my horizontal type of movements, it took a little bit for me to get used to. But after that, honestly, this mouse is really good. I feel like my grip on this mouse is consistent every single time, and I feel like that really helps me play more consistently. I feel like all my games I was playing consistently well, and that's the thing that I really like about. I think the first 2 games that I've used it, I was definitely struggling a little bit to get used to like using a new mouse. But after that, I got really used to this mouse and how I grip it, and I think that helped a lot because I feel like the Razer Death Adder, because it's so big, there's like so many different ways I can grip this mouse, and the positional variance of like every time I hold on the mouse is slightly different versus, like I said, this one, when you can just palm a mouse, you just kind of go to the same position automatically every time. And there's definitely kind of some value in that, I think. I definitely felt that when I was using this. So in conclusion, do I recommend the Ultralight X? Yes, I think this Finalmouse is just so good. I honestly love the shape. I didn't even think I would. I thought it would be too small for my hand, but it actually is probably the first mouse that I can really fully grip from beginning from the front to the back. So I really like the size of it. Of course, if you could find any of these, obviously they kind of sell out the second they kind of drop them. So it's definitely going to be a hard road ahead for myself because, you know, this is not my unit. I actually borrowed this from a friend. So, but I'm definitely looking to pick up some lightweight mouse, whether it's this one or some other ones that are actually available, because knowing me, I'm probably not that patient to order and then wait a long time, but you know, if you guys can get your hands on this, I definitely would. Anyways, I hope this video helped you guys. Please like and subscribe down below. Helps my videos out, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
Shadows traveling.
Prepare for hellfire!
Cover going out. Not ready.
Spike down. One enemy remaining.
Wingman's gonna plant spike.
Disappear.
Spike sticky. Thanks, little man.
One enemy remaining.
3 killed. My ultimate is ready. Shadows traveling.
Dizzy's up top.
Someone's there. Enemy B.
Attackers win.
Out of my way.